Jackson needed?
Yes.
Morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. If you could just silence your mobile devices, please. All right. Good morning. Today is July 1st, 2025. It's 10 a.m. There is a quorum present. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Bringing us to item number 3 on today's agenda, which is convene as the Storey County Board of County Commissioners. Bring us to item number 4, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you can all join me for that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, on to item number 5, which is public comment. Public comment is welcome at the beginning and end of each meeting. These comments should be limited to matters not on today's calendar or agenda. Public comment is again welcomed after each item on the agenda, and those comments should be limited to the agendized topic. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes per individual. With that, is there any public comment in the courtroom today? All right, not seeing any, we're going to move right along to item number 5, which is discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval of the agenda for the July 1st, 2025 meeting. County Manager, are there any changes to today's agenda?
There's one. The Fire District would like to take number 20 and move that over to the July 15 Commission meeting here at the courthouse. That is regarding a SWCA consultant update. All right.
Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments about today's agenda?
None, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman?
No, thank you.
How about public comment? Is there any public comment regarding the items on today's agenda? Not seeing any, Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I move to approve today's agenda with the noted change of continuing item number 20 to our July 15th meeting here at the courthouse.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 7 is today's consent agenda. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments about the consent agenda?
None, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman?
I don't know.
Okay, how about public comment? Not seeing any, Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I move to approve today's consent agenda as presented.
Second?
All right, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 8, this discussion only, no action, no public comment will be taken. These are our committee and staff reports, and we'll kick things off at the Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Happy July. Sheriff Cullen for the record. Just a couple things this morning. I wanted to get out a little safety message regarding 4th of July coming up on Friday. Just a reminder to everybody that fireworks are unlawful, so don't be setting off your own fireworks. There'll be a nice show here in town for everybody to watch. Parking is limited, and make sure that you obey and watch for the restricted parking, especially down in and around the fireworks zones. If your car does get towed, get a hold of the Sheriff's Office, and we'll let you know where it's at. What's that?
Oh, say bless you.
Oh.
Sorry.
The Sheriff's Office will be fully staffed, and if anybody has any problems at all, to get a hold of dispatch and or a deputy for assistance with that kind of stuff, anything going on. And then the last thing here is that I'm sure a lot of folks that might have been following along in our social media have seen that the Sheriff's Office has been quite busy recently. For up-to-date information, you can always get onto our social media, or you can download our app at the App Store, iPhone and Google App Stores at Storey County Sheriff. And that's get you all the information, updates, and we put a lot of stuff on that app. So that's basically it. And I'll take any questions if you have anything.
Great, thank you, Sheriff. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments for the Sheriff?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
Good, thanks.
Awesome, thanks. Moving right along to the Fire Protection District.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeremy Longcar for the record. Just a couple updates. We received 90 total applicants for our firefighter recruitment, in which we tested this weekend. We limited that pool down to, we wanted 50 to do 25 a day. The testing went really well, so we're going to be starting interviews and at least establishing a hiring list here that'll be good for the year. As well, we have our mechanics position posted right now, which we hope to fill sometime in early August. We've already started to receive some pretty decent applications there. I want to piggyback just a little bit on the Sheriff's Office message for the 4th of July. In regards to the fireworks, they are legal, so we encourage people to just enjoy the free show that's hosted here locally by experts. But as well for the residents, I want to remind them all that we do bring up a lot of additional resources from our neighboring fire departments, so we stage them all over town. I've received quite a few phone calls. They get a lot of fallout, so they find debris from the shells all over, and we do try to position engines strategically throughout the town, and we call back a lot of our own staff to assist as well. And the last thing is that we had a small structure fire down in Gold Hill last night, and I want to kind of take this opportunity to thank the board for supporting our mission and vision of increasing our staffing at our fire stations. To see it firsthand, having a 3-person engine company makes a world of difference. They got the fire extinguished really fast, no injuries, and we were out really quick. So thank you, and I'll answer any questions you may have.
Great news, Chief. Thank you. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for the Chief?
None, thank you, Chief.
Vice Chairman?
Good, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. About our Public Works Department?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike Northen, Operations Projects, reporting for Director Wiersbicky. I don't have a Public Works report today.
All right, sounds good. You want to take care of projects?
Yes, sir. Mike Northen, Operations and Projects Coordinator. Item 1, Lockwood Senior Center. Project is about 80% complete. Interior painting is complete. Interior finishes and casework are underway. Landscaping and irrigation is going in. Trees have been planted. This week they'll be finishing the above ceiling MEP and the ceiling tiles, restroom fixtures, fiber reinforced plastic wall finishes in the kitchen. Item 2, the EM office electrical upgrades are complete. HVAC will be going in tomorrow. TRI restrooms are currently out to bid. The Mark Twain vehicle storage building is out to bid. Both of those are being managed by our new project manager, Chris. I'm going to let him report on those going forward. Station 71 RFQ for design services is complete, and we will be creating a staff report with recommendations for the board for the next meeting. Last item is the Gold Hill generator has arrived. The pad is cured, so the install is going to be happening in the next 2 weeks. That will bring that to completion. And with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mike. Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments?
None, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman?
Good, thanks.
All right, appreciate the update.
Thank you.
All right, how about Business Development Director?
Good morning, Laura Mather for the record.
Bless you.
So over the next couple commissioners' meetings, I'm going to be providing some statistics on business licensing, workforce, types of businesses, those kind of things during the meetings, during staff report. But today I wanted to focus on the number of business licenses that we have in Storey County. It's very impressive, and it really says a lot about our impact, not only within the county, but surrounding areas and even outside of the county. So first of all, I want to thank Ashley Mead for providing the numbers for me to give this reports. She does all the work, and then I just get to talk about the numbers. So these business licenses are effective today, and they will run through this fiscal year. So for the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center and McCarran, there are 184 business licenses. For the rest of the county, there's 285. For out-of-county business licenses, there's 1,715. So that makes a total of 2,184 current business licenses for this coming fiscal year. So I wanted to focus a little bit more on the out-of-county business licenses and what that means. As we all know, we are often mistakenly accused of being the sole beneficiary of the businesses that are here in Storey County, and the taxes or the fees or whatever that those are bringing in. But when you think about these 1,700 out-of-county business licenses, they are paying payroll taxes, personal property taxes, they're paying fees and all of those kind of things outside of our county. So those employees or those companies are coming in and doing businesses here. But I just think it's really important that we acknowledge and everybody else understands the benefits that those out-of-county business licenses are bringing to the surrounding counties. And I know we have companies that are located in California that are doing business here as well. So we talk about the teamwork that it takes for all of the county staff to be able to make these impressive numbers happen. But I just want to highlight the small but very mighty team in community development, and particularly Ashley Mead, who is the lead on business licensing. For her to handle 2,184 business licenses, that is spectacular, and I think that is an amazing feat that that department has handled. That's the end of my report.
All right, thank you very much for that, Laura. Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments?
Couldn't agree with you more. Thank you.
Vice Chairman?
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that update.
Thank you.
How about our grants manager?
Good morning, Sarah Sturts for the record. So with the new fiscal year, we are now accepting applications for the community project grant. So for this program, the county is divided into 4 areas. So area 1 is Lockwood, Mustang, Painted Rock in the northeast. Area 2, Lago Marcino in the highlands. Area 3, Gold Hill in Virginia City. And then area 4, down in Mark Twain. And each area can apply for up to $10,000, and it requires a minimum of 3 people. So not organizations, just 3 community members who live within their designated area to work together as a team. And multiple teams from each area may submit applications. Each funding request can either be for a single project, totaling $10,000, or multiple projects that add up to $10,000. Applications are due Friday, August 29th by 5 p.m. And if you hear anyone in the community that would like to apply, and if they have any questions, please send them my way. The application is posted on our website. And then Mike and I worked with the United States Department of Agriculture Rural Development Division to obtain a Project Buy America, Build America waiver for our fairgrounds project. So the county was successful in this attempt, and we received an amended letter of conditions for the fairgrounds project, and that removed the Buy America, Build America requirements for that project, and we received that last Wednesday. That's the end of my report.
Great, thank you for that report, Sarah. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments for Sarah?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. About the planning department?
Nothing today, thank you.
All right. How about project manager Chris?
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Trotta, Operations and Construction for the record. Mike touched on a lot of our projects, but one of the projects we're working on is the courthouse fence. We're having it recast. The casting should be done by late fall, and that'll give us some time to do some landscaping, in the spring. We're also working on the Gold Hill wastewater collection piping, and we have, our plan has been accepted, by the state, and the EPA and NEPA documents are nearly complete. We'll be working in Pipers on some seismic work, for some strengthening of the column in the lobby. Other than that, I think Mike has got us covered. Coming up with a new plan for the community development vestibule, and just working on some new design approaches on that.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Chris?
None, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman?
Thank you.
All right, great update.
Thank you. Thank you.
How about our admin officer? No, thank you. Okay. Emergency management.
Morning. morning, Commissioners. Adam Wilson, Director of Emergency Management for the record. Last Friday, our emergency management team was awarded from the school board trustees at their monthly meeting. I'll read the plaque real quick to you. It says, in grateful appreciation to Adam Wilson and Tristan Wadsworth, in appreciation of your outstanding partnership with the Storey County School District and your unwavering dedication to the safety and well-being of our students, staff, and community. Your leadership, collaboration, and commitment to preparedness have made a lasting impact on our schools. Thank you for helping make safety a priority. So I'm very proud of the EM team for that and all the work they've done with the school district. And finally, all I have is next Wednesday, our local emergency planning committee meeting is at 10 a.m. out at the Tri-Center. And with that, I'll take questions.
All right, thank you, Adam. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Adam?
I do not, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman?
No, thank you.
All right, appreciate it. Moving right along to the BCTC.
Good morning, Commissioners. Todd Tuttle, Director of Tourism. For the record, just a few updates coming up. Be aware of the America 250, the semi-quincentennial celebration of America's 250th anniversary. There's a number of things that are beginning to be put into the works. I just want to make sure that we become a valid part of that, as the state of Nevada is putting a big effort behind it. So more will come. There's some good opportunities for grant opportunities, for celebration opportunities, event opportunities, etc. So we'll be hearing more about that and getting more involved with it along the way. We've been having some tremendous turnout from Travel Nevada and the FAMs that are coming in. We've had groups that have arrived from Mexico, particularly representing Volaris Airlines. They are then trying to reschedule some of their flights coming into the Reno Tahoe Airport specifically to come to Virginia City and featured in some of their articles and papers. We've also had a number that have come up from Australia and New Zealand, targeting the West that they know of, and of course Virginia City would like that to be the center of their activities along with it. And of course an increase in bus groups. I hope you've been seeing those buses arrive up in the parking lots and being able to get throughout the town area, and a great appreciation to all the townspeople that have been staying open a little bit later and accommodating those groups that are coming in later in the afternoon. Last Saturday we had at Piper's Opera House Taylor Honeycutt as part of For the Song. She is one of those up and coming artists that has put out a number of records and has a few other singles that are coming up the charts. We've got a great opportunity to see that activity over in Piper's, and we'd like to encourage everybody from Virginia City to take advantage of some of these top-end performers coming in for the concert series. Coming up, of course, is the 4th of July. Everybody's excited for all the events that will be happening here. The parade viewing area will again be on C Street, again from Union up to about halfway up the block towards Taylor. So come early, get your chairs in place, get ready for the parade. We've got over 50 entries that will be into the parade itself. We may have a little special treat lined up to start the parade off, so kind of keep your eyes in the sky for that. We expect C Street to close at 11:30, thanks to the Sheriff's Department to help make that a smooth transition as the parade begins and then moves down C Street. They should be in the center of town right at noon, and as the siren goes off, national anthem sung, etc. So it should be a great parade time for it. If you are involved in the parade, check-in starts at 10:30 at Fourth Ward School, and we'll be lining up on the east side of C Street from the Blue House or Flowery all the way up to Fourth Ward School. Remember that there will be a few of our entries that will discharge firearms, so if you're bringing children or if you have pets, please be aware of that. Also, with the temperatures, make sure that you have some foot coverings for your pets and things like that as the boardwalks and the streets get quite hot. And of course, later in the afternoon, we'll have the David John concert there in the Bucket of Blood parking lot. Sunset is at 8:29 on the 4th of July on Friday, so we anticipate fireworks to be about 8:45, depending on how dark it is. And we hope to get that open on the way. We've got a good show, about 20 minutes to 30 minutes to go. So it should be nice and dark by the time we hit that grand finale. We will be launching from behind Silverland, as we've done in the past. Carol Malley has been very supportive of making sure that the fireworks are being able to be back there at that location, so a big hats off to her. Hot August nights coming up on August 1st and 2nd, Friday and Saturday. C Street will be closed for that classic car event. Once again, C Street will be closed for the classic car event. The only difference this year, instead of the cars coming in, parking and staying the entire day, opportunity for other cars to come and travel to a number of other locations part of the kickoff. So parking will be parallel on C Street, northbound, so they'll come from the south end of town, drive up, park on either side, left or right. As other cars leave, that'll leave spaces for new cars to come in, so we'll have a little rotation. Movement along that area will be very slow so that people can be in the streets and be able to watch the cars as they come and go by. Access to the post office will be done with an access card. You'll receive that in the mail. So if you need to get to the post office on Friday or Saturday, show that to the entrance at the south end and move slowly down to the parking lot in the back of the post office to be able to access it. We would like to be able to make a little bit of change during the event on the streets. B Street will be southbound only. It will be a one-way activity and parking will be accordingly. And D Street will be northbound only. Parking will be accordingly. It should give us a little bit more room to be able to park parallel on either side, make it one lane so we've got plenty of room for emergency vehicles and passage back and forth. Everything was getting too congested so that with everybody parking and cars going both directions, people couldn't get by, and if there was an emergency, it would become rather difficult. So this will help keep that running clean along the way. Pointing out for the song will be also on Saturday night, August 2nd, featuring Walt Wilkins and the Ramble. Another great opportunity. There will be discount tickets for locals here in Virginia City to attend that. For the last one, it was $20. These are concert tickets that usually go for $70 to $100, so a great opportunity to, once again, hear some great performance. And don't forget, Mix and Mingle will be at Piper's Opera House on July 8th. Doors will open at 5:30, and formal information will be given around 6:15. So that's all I have, plus a couple of billion other things for the summer, but I think that's enough for today. Any questions?
Thank you for that update, Todd. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Todd?
None, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman?
Thanks.
Okay. Thanks again. How about the Comptroller's Office?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
All right. Health and Community Services.
Good morning, Stacy York for the record. Oops, I lost my page. There we go. I wanted to say thank you to Public Works. This past month, they fixed the stairs that go up to our attic. The stairs were in rough shape. It was a matter of time before somebody fell through, but now they're beautiful redwood. I got to walk on them yesterday. It was safe and secure, so nice bringing stuff up and down from there. Also, thank you to Mike Northern. He had Shakespeare come out and remodel our bathrooms. Those were done by the end of the year. They look beautiful. They're bright. They're coming up to code finally, and really looking like we're in the 2000s. We received our transportation and homemaker grant funds, so we're able to continue those programs. As of right now, I don't want to jinx it, but we are fully staffed at both locations, able to provide for anybody. We have Sheriff's Night Out coming up in August. I want to make sure it gets on the calendars. It'll be August 19th down in Lockwood and August 26th in Virginia City from 5 to 8. Any departments that want to attend, please reach out to Bob Hastings or myself, and we'll get you on the list. We also have farmer market coupons available for seniors. They'll be in the Lockwood Senior Center Wednesday morning for pickup, in VC during lunchtime, and in Mark Twain every other Friday during food bank. If those don't accommodate anybody, we're open for appointments. And that is it for right now.
All right. Thank you for that update, Stacy. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Stacy?
Stacy, was that August 26th for Virginia City National and Out?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman, anything?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, thanks for that update, Stacy.
Thank you.
How about the Recorder's Office?
Nothing today, thank you.
All right, thanks, Drew. IT department. Human resources?
Nothing to report today, Commissioner.
All right. How about community development?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Joseph Starnes, for the record. So June was a particularly, I'm just going to give you an update. It was an extremely busy month and productive month for our office as we gear up for the upcoming new code adoption and changes. I'm proud to report that we hit some new milestones, and I know I nerd out on you guys once a month on this, but it's because we're seeing numbers that we've never seen before. So at least since 2017. So we issued 71 building permits in the month of June, not counting any revisions that we've issued. We've never seen that. We also reviewed an impressive 81 sets of plans, which we've never hit that number in a month either. And like I said, when I say record-breaking, I mean this is the highest monthly total since I began tracking these statistics since 2017. And despite our packed schedules, our team also achieved several professional milestones worth celebrating this month in the month of June. Dave Nair earned his ICC Commercial Plumbing Inspector Certificate. Scott Cunningham received his ICC Residential Inspector Certificate. Dan Horton completed his WC3 Residential PV Solar Inspector Certification. And then I received my ICC Certified Building Official and Building and Fire Code Specialist certificates. So as you guys know, these certificates aren't easy. The classes are hard, and the credentials take sometimes years to get. So pretty impressive, even with the busy month. So to wrap up, we also are excited to welcome our new administrative assistant who starts next week. And she'll be helping Ashley, which is greatly appreciated and needed. And then the week after that, we're going to be interviewing for our building inspector position. So that's it. I'll take any questions.
Great update, Joe. Appreciate the information. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Joe?
No, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman?
Good, thanks.
All right, and congrats to you and your team on those certifications.
Thank you.
Thank you. How about our Public Relations Officer?
Good morning, Julia Moreno-Fritz, Public Relations Officer for the record. I have a brief update to share with you today. Storey County was recently honored with the 2025 National Association of Counties Achievement Award in the Information Technology category for our fiber distribution project, which is providing residents with up to 1 gigabyte speeds and supports county operations with 10 gigabytes of connectivity. This national recognition highlights the county's leadership in expanding digital infrastructure to support our community and economy. And that's it for me today. Thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Awesome. Thank you, Julia. Commissioner Gilman, anything for Julia?
No, thank you.
Vice Chairman? All right. Appreciate the update. Lee, did you have anything for us today?
Nothing today, thank you.
All right. How about the DA's office?
Good morning, I do not have any update today.
All right. Thank you, Brian. County Manager's office.
Thank you. Austin Osborne for the record. First, I want to congratulate Jill Starnes for getting that certificate. That particular cert has been talked about in that office for a very long time. It's a very important certification to have in handling what that office does with community development and building. As Jill talked about, with the increase in the influx of permitting and the increase of economic development and activity across the county, the complexity of these things has as well. That regarding infrastructure and drainages and projects that we're doing across the county. And at this time, as we had talked about during the budget and in past years, we are exploring right now an engineering firm that would be a dedicated engineer person that would be on call to be able to work with our teams and our departments as needed to help just be that engineer eyes on the ground and a certified stamp on things that we're doing as needed to be able to keep up with the influx of things and be able to address the complexity of things that are coming our way. So I just want to let you know that. That's it.
All right, thank you, Austin. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Austin?
No, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman? All right, appreciate the update. How about our Clerk Treasurer's Office?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Jim Hindle, Clerk and Treasurer. Just wanted to make everybody aware that in the next week we will be going through working with the Assessor's Office and doing our annual tax calculations. So tax bills will be coming out in the mail. That runs the 8th through the 11th. So if people don't get their tax bills by the end of the month, definitely call the office and we'll get that followed up. And then the only other thing I'd like to say is, as people probably noticed, we had a little disruption in the office as we got new carpet in the last week. I want to very much commend Building and Grounds, the IT group, and the Recorder's Office for lending us space as we were dislocated. But it really went without a hitch, and we were able to continue business and do the things we needed to do, and it's just wonderful when everybody works together and everything goes well. And also, Alicia Duke really took the lead on that, and I want to make sure you recognize that she really put that together and made it all happen. And so I commend her for the work on that end as well. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the update, Jim. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Jim?
No, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
Did we search that carpet that was being pulled out for gold dust? Or maybe
We were looking for everything under there, but Buildings and Grounds wouldn't let us pull up the pad, so I can't vouch for that.
Thank you again, Jim. All right, are there anybody else that I forgot to call on that has an update for us? All right, not seeing any. Thank you, everyone, for those updates. A lot of good news and happenings in Storey County. Moving right along to item number 9 is board comment. Start off to my far left. Commissioner Gilman, do you have anything for us today?
None, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman?
I just wanted to wish everyone a happy Canada Day.
All right. Could not have let that go by. Thank you very much. I do have one announcement today. Patricia Favre, if I butchered the name, my apologies, passed away. She was a county resident for some time, also the mother of Ann Simons, who most folks know if you've been involved in the school, and then obviously Deputy Simon's grandmother. If we could have a moment of silence for Patricia, greatly appreciate that. All right, thank you. Moving right along to item number 10, this is discussion only. No public comment, no action will be taken. Presentation by Milt Stewart, the Chief Executive Officer for Nevada Works, on workforce development programs and regional impact.
Good morning, Laura Mather for the record. So I am on the board, so I am a little biased, but it is my pleasure to introduce Milt Stewart. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Nevada Works, and he's going to give a presentation on the organization's mission, key programs, and regional impact.
Great.
Good morning, Milt Stewart for the record. I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I have a long presentation, but I'll keep it short so that, did I do that? Sorry? Sorry? Yep, no worries. So Nevada Works is a local workforce development board for 13 counties in northern Nevada, and our mission is to provide the best workforce solutions fulfilling needs of employers and career seekers. We have two sets of customers, two primary sets of customers, job seekers and employers. This is the area that we serve. We serve, as I said, 13 counties across northern Nevada. The counties we don't serve, southeast corner, which is Lincoln, Nye, Esmeralda, and Clark, but we serve the rest of the state. The Nevada Works board is comprised of two entities. One is the Nevada Works Local Elected Officials Consortium. As I had mentioned, Nevada Works is created through a cooperative agreement of 13 counties in northern Nevada. And so we have one LEO representative, happens to be Laura, for Storey County. Formerly, Austin was on the LEO commission for quite some time. The counties have fiduciary responsibility for the organization, and the authority to establish funding priorities. We also have a council, when the council is mostly advisory in nature, and it representatives from business, labor, education, nonprofits, and it advises, again, that local elected official consortium. And then staff, me and my team, our job is to implement the board's strategic vision, administration and oversight of the funding, and work with stakeholders to establish a viable workforce development system. We implement that system by meeting employer demands. We're integrating programs with private sector to strengthen the local economy, and we leverage and integrate resources and expand services. So the local Workforce Development Board is designed through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act to be that hub between career seekers, skills training, and employers. In partnership with multiple partners, the largest of which is Department of Employment Training and Rehabilitation, or DETR, we have several business and career hubs throughout the region, and the actual physical locations are a manifestation of the virtual environment. So we have employinv.gov, which is the online system that both employers can get on to post jobs and search resumes, and individuals can get on to create their own resumes and to search for jobs. Those hubs throughout the region are places where people can come in and get in-person services as opposed to just virtual. It stopped. So these are the locations for the business and career hubs. As you can see, they are across the region. We're happy to announce that we had a small office in Fernley that as of November of last year, we went from around 1,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet in partnership with DETR, the Department of Education, Department of Vocational Rehabilitation, Western Nevada College is there. And so we have increased that presence in Fernley so that we can better serve this area. So again, job and career seeker resources. As I mentioned, it's a place where individuals can go in, they can look for employment, they can find training programs and learn new skills, and access for career pathways to get them on, not just get them a job, but to get them on a career pathway. There are resource centers in each of the hubs where there's computers with internet access, Wi-Fi, and business services. And then there's employment and community resource information. For employers, the hubs provide recruiting and pre-screening of candidates, and that is not only done by this EmployinV system, but also by people. There are actually people in the centers that do job matching. This is a picture of the Reno Town Mall, the hub in Reno, but we offer job fairs. Obviously, it's scaled based on the size of the office throughout the rurals, but again, we can have job fairs and hiring events. We can provide labor market information to businesses so that they can better understand the labor market, what the competitive wages are, what the workforce opportunities are as far as existing skills and so on, so we can provide them with that information. We can train and upskill not only folks that don't have jobs, but those that are looking to seek better employment or move up a career pathway. And then we also work with businesses, and I'll get to this in a second, but businesses to upskill their employees so that they can potentially promote and or backfill positions. We have conference rooms, computer labs and offices, interview rooms, particularly for small businesses. A lot of the things that you see here, many small businesses don't have interview rooms. They don't have access to a lot of the infrastructure that they might need. So we offer that, and we offer it all at no cost. And so businesses, mom and pops and so on, if they need help, they can come either go into the employinv.gov or come into one of the hubs and we can help them out. Federal legislation that creates the local workforce development boards is the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. It was enacted in 2014. It was up for reauthorization and still is, but as of this point is not reauthorized, so it's continuing on in the state that it has been in. Aims to streamline workforce development, enhance employment opportunities, And really, one of the important things is to strengthen those connections between job seekers, employers, and training programs. Again, you saw that visual, we're the hub for those, kind of that clearinghouse and bringing folks and businesses, job seekers, and training providers to the table so we can have the right conversations. Promoting career pathways and industry-driven workforce solutions, and I'll get to that in just a moment. And then we're collaborating, again, education, business, and government sectors. The board, those two entities, when they meet, their role is to ensure governance of the local workforce development system, to align strategies with regional needs, maximize the impact, and then enhance service delivery. As I mentioned, the council, these are all advisory roles, develop strategies, engage with businesses, increase efficiency, alignment, and so on. The elected officials appoint the council members. They provide oversight and accountability for workforce funding. Again, the fiduciary responsibility, support initiatives, and foster economic development and job creation. The primary performance outcomes that we have, did we get people into jobs, and did we, and did they retain those jobs? If they went into training, did they obtain a credential? And if so, what type of credential did they get? And then employer engagement, how many businesses did the workforce development system engage? And then satisfaction, which is literally a survey, how well did we do? And or repeat business would generally indicate satisfaction. Strategic planning goals for the organization, identifying regional needs, convening the stakeholders to ensure alignment, sourcing funding streams to support the mission, innovative workforce solutions, continuous improvement, and human-centered design, where we're making sure that when we deliver services, we have that individual or that business in mind, and making that as efficient as we can for those individuals. A couple grants that we have received. We have 3 years ago, we received a Good Jobs Northern Nevada grant, which is our outcomes was to place at least 650 individuals in 4 sectors: healthcare, information technology, logistics, and manufacturing. And one of the things that was an outcome of this grant was to create what we're calling industry sector partnerships, where we're convening industry. We started with these 4 industries, and now we're up to 7, where we're actually convening businesses and saying, okay, here's what the data is telling us. How close is that to what you really need? And when we're having those conversations in more real time, because a lot of times that data is a year old, 2 years old. So we ask them to validate what the data says and then continue that conversation. All right, what are you seeing actually real time, and how can we help? $14.9 million to provide education, training supports. This focuses on distressed rural and tribal communities. And we're engaging with employers, labor leaders, local government, and so on. And we have done a lot of work with the tribes, 22 tribes in the Northern Nevada region. And we have a specific tribal navigator or liaison who has really built a lot of trust with the tribes. And so now we're engaging with MOUs around workforce development with tribes. We've developed and stood up an Indian Workforce Commission where we have tribes that are coming together that are actually having specific and pointed conversations around workforce development, which is something that Northern Nevada hasn't had, and so we're supporting that, not only through this grant, but some of the other funding so we can sustain it long term. We are at the end of our second round of incumbent worker training grants. We're expecting additional funding. We've had 2 rounds of $1.5 million. And basically the gist behind this is if a business has individuals that they would like to upskill and give them a promotion or give them a raise, we can pay for that upskilling as long as the employer, their skin in the game is to pay that individual while they're in training. Because we all know that people that have jobs, it's tough for them to take time off or to lose their wages to go to training. We're saying, employer, if you pay for their if you pay for their wages while they're in the training, we'll pay for the training, we'll pay for the supports, and we need you to guarantee one of 4 things. Either you're gonna give them a promotion, a title change, a wage increase, or if it's a company that is on the verge of a layoff, if it prevents a layoff, then that's allowable as well. I'm happy to report that over 90% of the individuals that we've trained has resulted in wage increases. So not only is the employer getting those additional skills from those employees, but those employees are getting industry recognized stackable credentials that they can use for that business, but also should they happen to go to another employer, they have those credentials in hand. A few of the other initiatives and grants that we have, Battery Workforce Initiative, this is some funding that we got from Dieter, which is to assist with battery workforce, which includes, we're working with the UNR Tech Hub and around the battery, the lithium life cycle. And so this is in the formative stages right now. We're just gearing this up. We're going to have an industry sector partnership around the battery workforce as well. Disconnected youth, so those individuals that are in that 16 to 24 year range. What we are doing right now is we are developing a intentional delivery service model for this age group. The last statistic that we heard is in the Washoe, Storey, Lyon, Carson City area. There are 8,000 disconnected youth, individuals who are neither in education nor in employment. Those are the individuals that we're targeting. So when we hear that there are a bunch of open jobs, we want to bring these individuals, these 16 to 24-year-olds into the workforce, or education for that matter, so that we can fill that gap. We started with a Reno bike project, and then we've contracted with some consultants to expand upon the youth initiatives. We are in the process of developing right now 2 youth hubs, which are specific. In our business and career hubs, there is space and programs that are designed specifically for these 16 to 24-year-olds. The 2 that we're in the process of developing right now, one is in Sparks and one is in Reno. Once we have those models established, we're going to scale those throughout the rural, so each hub will also have a youth hub as well. Nevada Tech Hub, again, partnering with UNR, and we're helping them with recruitment strategies around the lithium life cycle. And we have a navigator model where we have individuals in the communities that are assisting both job seekers and employers, and we've established a best practice around that we're going to help train other agencies on. We're working with High Sierra AHAC, Area Health Education Center, to help recruit for rural healthcare jobs. Up next, Nevada Workforce is a partnership between Dieter Nevada Works and the Boys and Girls Club. This is a statewide initiative, $6.2 million to help support their workforce development programs, and then also get them into the public workforce development system so that we can provide the other types of services that we offer. The acronym for this is QUEST, so it's a dislocated worker or individuals. This is specifically, believe it or not, there's some individuals that are still dislocated from COVID. So this is, directed at those individuals who lost their jobs or their jobs just aren't coming back as a result of COVID. So we have the opportunity to work with them. Clean Energy Jobs Academy, Office of Workforce Innovation funding from the U.S. Department of Labor to help us again around that clean energy lithium life cycle. We have an apprenticeship grant that we've just geared up, which includes apprenticeship readiness or pre-apprenticeship programs. We are working with manufacturers, education, and healthcare. We are winding up right now, starting a cohort of over 200 apprenticeships at Tesla. So those individuals will be paid while they're getting training. They'll come out with an industry recognized credential and they're hired by Tesla. And with that, I will entertain any questions.
Great. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation, Milt. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
No, don't, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
Thank you, Mr. Stewart, for the presentation. Could you give us kind of a 30,000-foot view of just what you're seeing in kind of the regional just kind of trends, workforce readiness, balance between job openings and employees, employers, and just kind of an overall of where we stand and where we're headed?
Sure. So again, 30,000-foot view. So across our region, there's roughly 25,000 plus job openings. And if we look at unemployed individuals, there's at least 25,000 plus individuals. But the challenge there is it's not a direct match, right? So part of what we do in collaboration with partners is identify the gaps. So if there's manufacturing needs additional employees, then how do we train folks up? And then again, in that, making sure that we're meeting those needs of those employers, right? So a lot of, as we stood up these industry sector partnerships, of course, they need the hard skills, right? They need those technical skills, but a lot of what we're hearing is workforce or workplace readiness skills, right? And so what we're doing is we're taking some of these existing trainings and we're wrapping around soft skills or employability skills around that, so that those employers can, we can meet the needs of the employers. Sometimes we're also working with the Department of Education so that if we have individuals who need to learn English, they're English language learners, or they haven't completed their high school diploma, for example, or equivalency, how do we get them on a path where, historically we've had to say, okay, go do this and then come back. Well, we're doing that concurrently. So we've developed some programs in conjunction with Western Nevada College and TMCC, where we're saying, look, instead of sending these folks to get their diploma and then coming back, we're actually giving them, during their training, we're giving them the opportunity to get their diplomas at the same time. So instead of it being chronological or linear, it's happening concurrently. There's no silver bullet for what we're talking about, but the best that we can do is have the conversations and start to fulfill that talent pipeline. We have ran over 1,000 people through our Good Jobs across the region, through our Good Jobs program. Some are just now graduating and getting their diplomas, but we've got over an 80% placement rate for those individuals, and that's immediate, right? So immediately afterwards, but we still track them longer term. The overwhelming majority are getting jobs in the industry that they trained for, and I know that kind of sounds like common sense, but not always the case. And but we continue for a year to have conversations with those individuals, so if they have any barriers or any challenges with getting employment, we assist as we can. So I say all that to say that we take a regional approach. What works in Storey County may not work in Washoe and vice versa, but we've done a good job of regionalizing our approach so that we can, we're not going to be the solution, but the workforce development system in general, when we work with partners and we align our strategies, we're creating that talent pipeline. It's not easy work, but it's something that we believe in. When Austin was the Storey County representative, when I came on as CEO almost 4 years ago, we had 1 to 2 funding streams, and we were about $6 million in annual revenue. Now we have a dozen different funding streams. We're $18 million in revenue, budget revenue for this year, with access to, because we have multiple year grants, we have $40 million overall. So we've really pivoted as an organization from a kind of a compliance, how do we kind of check some boxes, to an organization that's working with partners and working across the region to say, how do we really make an impact and how do we create this efficiently? We are not done yet, right? And so we truly believe in continuous improvement. The challenge that we have right now is the uncertainty around federal funding. Everybody's having that conversation. And so what we look like in the future, hopefully, we can sustain this model where we're continue to increase revenue, continue to work with partners. And what we've done a really good job at is leveraging and braiding funding. So if we have WIOA funding, if an individual is eligible for multiple funding streams, we're going to pick the funding stream that makes the most sense to fund it with. That sounds like common sense, right? And it is, but that's not always the case. And so we've done a really good job with leveraging that WIOA funding, but also these other grants. Maybe one, the clean energy is for we can train in a specific industry or for a specific occupation. Okay, well, I'm not going to use WIOA money there to pay for it. I'm going to use this. And so we've done a really good job of braiding and leveraging funding.
Right on. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Mr. Chairman?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'd just like to give special thanks to Storey County, to you all. You have your representatives, both Austin and Laura, are part of the leadership team. Austin was part of, and Laura is, and really help to make sure that we're doing a good job on behalf of you all. So thank you for that.
Great. Is there any public comment? Not seeing any. If you don't have anything else for us, appreciate the time and appreciate the presentation.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, moving right along to item number 11, this is discussion for possible action. Ed James, General Manager for Carson Water Subconservancy District, will present the 2025 Carson River Floodplain Management Plan for county adoption. Previous iterations were adopted by Churchill County in 2008, 2013, and 2018. The presentation will describe the plan's goals, objectives, and strategic actions. The floor is yours.
Thank you. And for the record, Ed James with the Carson Water Subconservancy District. I'm going to give you an overview of our Carson River Floodplain Management Plan, kind of the goals, what we're trying to do and achieve on this. Every flood picture you see is taken in this watershed. So again, you can always get a feel for that flooding is a key issue as we deal. The main purpose of the plan is really to reduce flood risks in the watershed, to make the counties and communities aware of the flooding issues they can have and how can we reduce those flood risks as we move forward. So like a house here, it got flooded twice. Now, a better understanding of how you prepare yourselves when you do have floods. I'm going to give you a little history of how we established this plan and as we move forward. So a little background, in 1997, there was a major flood in the Carson River. If you're around that area, you know about that. After that flood, the community got together and says, how are we going to deal with flooding in this watershed? You know, do we want to have a flood management group? Do we do something different? And so they formed what they called the Carson River Coalition, and there were a workshop with this group. And basically he said, it's really an integrated process. You got water supply, you got water quality, you got flooding. We got to be working cooperatively with all these different entities. And so basically they formed the Carson River Coalition to deal with this, bringing communities from all surround the area, private, public, government agencies to come together and do that. And at that time, they asked the Carson Water Subconservancy District if they would facilitate that process. And they agreed back in '98, and so that's when the whole process came in to look at this, dealing with not just flooding, but how the impacts of water quality and everything else. So how did the plan get developed? In 2008, after several workshops and other conferences, we brought the community together to say, we need to be dealing with this, and this is how we're talking. Now, back then, it really just focused on the river. And so at that time, the counties that adopted was Alpine County, which is in California, Douglas, Carson, Lyon, and Churchill County. They were the main ones because, again, the focus really was on the river. There was an update in 2013, and again, really still focusing on the river. But when we got to 2018, we realized we needed to expand it to talk about alluvial fan flooding because those have been big issues in the communities, and that really also impacts Storey County. So at that point, when that plan came out, Storey County also came and adopted that plan. And these are just some of the flood pictures. It's kind of interesting. And we've had flooding for a long time. 1907, we don't have any gauges, but it was one of the bigger floods. It went through, it actually moved the river and Carson Valley, and even flooded Churchill County when that occurred. So just kind of dates of major floods that have gone through. It's nothing new. We've been flooding in Carson, this watershed, from the beginning of time. But flooding is becoming a bigger issue because of development. And one of the things we found, the work that we're doing in Storey County, if we had planned 50, 60 years ago on some of this building that was going in, we may not be having some of the flood issues or trying to repair some of the flood issues we have today. That's just not unique to Storey County. Every county we deal with, we do these area drainage master plans, and we come by and say, gosh, I wish I had this plan 50 years ago, because when you build an alluvial fan, the water wants to come from an alluvial fan moving down, and now we tend to build out, and we also block the flow patterns, and it's now coming into a bigger issue. So sometimes the repair to alleviate these floodings costs more than the damage they actually cause. So we are working with this and trying to come up with smaller projects that would benefit the community. This is up in Hope Valley, and again, this is kind of how the river goes, and when it floods, this whole area gets underwater, and that's the goal of it. And that's what a lot of our planning in the Carson River is is to try to keep the floodplain open. In 97, when the flooding happened, you got Truckee River, which has all that upstream storage, which we don't have on the Carson. But even with all that storage, they had over $600 million worth of flood damage. On the Carson, it was only $16 million. Because again, we hadn't built into the floodplain. Seems like everyone wants to get closer to the river, and as you do, of course, you didn't have issues of protecting it. So the idea behind the plan is to approach a regional floodplain management approach, looking at everything again, flood, rivers, and alluvial fans. Protect those floodplains if we can from that development, or keep those corridors open and we can move the water, and then avoid reduced flood damages on a watershed-wide scale. This is a document. This is not a regulatory document. It's a guideline. And every county takes it, and whatever can fit into their planning process is what we do. But this gives you a broad perspective on a regional approach of a living river, habitat, basically just identifying how floods impacts this watershed. This one here really focuses on the Carson River. This is the main message that the Carson River Coalition came up and really focuses on it. But again, trying to keep those floodplains open. So as we can develop that, and you can even go into alluvial fans. If you can keep those channels open, you can alleviate some of the flooding and damages you'll see in your community. So getting into where do we stand and what does the plan do? There are 8 strategies, mitigation strategies, and within those 8, there are 49 suggested actions. So the 8 really focuses on the natural functions of the river, looking at higher regulation standards, collecting data where it's possible, balancing the channel migration, bank erosions as we get through, increase floodplain and outreach, reduce infrastructure impacts. Let's try not to build right next to a channel that may have more infrastructure necessary or needs. Studying the maps, understanding where these floods are, where are the alluvial fans occurring, where there's, it's like in Storey County in the Mark Twain area. If you understand that, you can say to someone, hey, if you build that, you're going to have a potential flooding. You may want to move your property over a little bit or elevate it to protect you from flooding in the future. And then looking at stormwater impacts. So when we started looking at the updates, what we really focused this time in the plan is really looking at stormwater updates and again, updating the recommendations and suggested actions in this plan. I like this picture here because this was taken at the movie theater, if you know where that is in Carson City. These people went in to watch the movie, and when they came out, this is what they found. It's amazing how quick a storm can come in and inundate and brought all this sediment down. So it's again awareness that we live in an area that we can have flash floods, we can have river flooding, and if we can plan for this, we can maybe hopefully reduce some of these impacts to the community. And I want to thank the county staff, your county and all the counties. We went through a lot of iterations, a lot of work. They gave a lot of input onto this plan, and we really do appreciate their assistance in this. So with that, any questions? I should point out here, this here is in Markleyville. When they had a thunderstorm, it came through. Caltrans was working on a bridge. They decided to put all their equipment up here because it was not going to get flooded from the river. That came down Mulberry Creek and basically inundated the entire area they were working in with sediment. Again, in just a half an hour, that storm built down and came down there. So again, awareness that we have a lot of potential flooding in this area. So with that, if there are any questions, and again, we hopefully you will adopt this plan like you have in the past as a guidance to help you as you're doing your management plans.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I don't have it. Thank you.
Is there any public comment?
Lee Starrett, for the record. Ed, I believe one member of your staff has just received an award, or she's going to be receiving an award. Would you make an announcement on
Sure.
that?
Really proud. The California and Nevada Flood Association conference is coming up in September. And Debbie Nettenrip, who put a lot of this here, is going to be recognized for her outreach programs done in the entire area on that. So it's a big award. It's something that we're proud of, that our little company is being recognized through California and Nevada, I guess even Hawaii and Guam. I guess we competed with them. But it's kind of neat to know that the work that we are doing is being recognized throughout the state. And that's something that's really important as we move forward. We are doing things and we are making changes in this that's not only just being recognized in this watershed, but beyond. So, yes.
Great, thank you. Is there any other public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Not exactly. Give me just a second.
Sure.
I was enjoying the presentation.
Kicking back.
I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to readopt the Carson River Floodplain Management Plan with the 2025 update.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. James, for coming
Thank you
up
for your
and
time.
presentation. Moving on to item number 12, this discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval of modification and extension of collective bargaining agreement between Storey County and the Storey County Employees Association, also known as AFSCME. Brandy?
Good morning, Commissioners. Brandy Lopez for the record. We are here to request your approval of the proposed modifications to the existing agreement between Storey County and the Comstock chapter AFSCME Local 4041. I'm pleased to report that our recent negotiations went smoothly. Both parties approached the process in good faith, and we reached a tentative agreement that we believe is fair, balanced, and beneficial to both employees and the county. I want to thank the representatives of the AFSCME group that participated during the negotiations for a pleasant experience. Thank you very much. Many of the updates in the agreement are relatively minor, focused on clarifying language, improving grammar, and enhancing overall readability. However, I would like to take a moment to highlight a few changes, particularly those related to cost of living adjustments, the addition of employee milestones, and the classification plan. To address the increased PERS contributions and ensure that employees maintain their take-home pay, we agreed to the following COLA increases over the 3-year term of the contract. The first year, the COLA increase will be 1.625%, 2% in the second year, and 3% in the third year. As part of our effort to maintain competitive compensation, I conducted a compensation study of the represented positions. Based on the results, we proposed reallocating certain positions. These reallocations are scheduled to take effect during the first full pay period in July. The total estimated cost of this 3-year agreement is $488,334.90. Broken down into the first year, $158,437.26, including a one-time cost of $119,180.12 for the classifications reallocations that will take place. The second year contract will cost approximately $124,652.43, and the third year, $205,245.21. Both COLAs and milestone increases account for a modest year-over-year growth in cost aligned with expected fiscal impacts. That concludes my summary of the proposed changes. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Brandy. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Brandy?
I do not. Thank you, Brandy.
Vice Chairman?
I'm good, thank you.
How about public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. In accordance with the recommendation by staff and the tentative agreement between Storey County as the employer and Storey County Employees Association, AFSCME Local 4041, Comstock Chapter, the union, I, Commissioner Mitchell, hereby move to approve the 2025 through 2028 collective bargaining agreement between the parties.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Brandy. Moving on to item number 13, which is discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval of a memorandum of understanding amending Article 7 of the collective bargaining agreement between Storey County and the Storey County Sheriff's Office Employees Association, also known as NAPSO. Brandy?
Good morning again, Commissioners. Brandy Lopez for the record. We are requesting approval of this memorandum of understanding between Storey County and the Storey County Sheriff's Office Employees Association, represented by the Nevada Association of Police and Sheriff's Officers. In accordance with NRS 286.4213A1, any increase to the public employees retirement system, FERS, contribution rate must be shared equally between the county and union eligible employees. Typically, the employees share of this increase is absorbed by reducing their cost of living adjustment by an amount equal to 50% of the FERS rate increase. However, for fiscal year 2026, the employees' portion of this FERS increase will exceed the COLA currently outlined in the existing agreement. If we were to apply the provision as written, it would result in a net reduction in employee pay, something that is not aligned with the county's intent. To address this, management is recommending a one-time adjustment to the COLA for the second year of the contract. Specifically, we propose increasing the COLA by 1.375%, bringing the COLA to 4.375%. This adjustment will fully offset the impact of the first increase and ensure that employees do not experience a reduction in take-home pay. And I'm happy to take any questions at this time.
Thank you, Brandy. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Brandy?
I do not, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I don't have any questions.
How about public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve the proposed COLA adjustment for fiscal year 26 as presented.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 14, this is discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval for the county chairman to sign and approve the USDA Rural Development's Letter of Conditions and associated forms for the McCarran Sheriff Substation Project. Sarah?
Sarah Sturts for the record. So the McCarran Sheriff Substation Improvements Project is being partially funded through the United States Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, or USDA for short, and that's through their Community Facilities Program. And in order for the USDA to obligate the funds for the project, the county will need to sign and return the associated forms with the letter of conditions. These forms are the letter of intent to meet the conditions, a request for obligation of funds, an equal opportunity agreement, an assurance agreement, and a request, I already said that, request for obligation of funds. These are the same forms that we signed for the fairgrounds and the fire station project.
All right. Thank you for that, Sarah. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman? Okay, how about public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve County Chairman Carmona to sign and approve the United States Department of Agriculture Rural Development's Letter of Conditions and associated forms for the McCarran Sheriff Substation Project.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Sarah. Moving on to item number 15 is to recess to convene as a Storey County Highway Board, bringing us to item number 16, which is discussion only, no action, no public comment will be taken. Report of Public Works Department regarding roads and highways throughout Storey County. Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike Northland, Operations and Projects Coordinator, reporting for Director Wiersbicki. One item I have is the B Street paving. You may see it's already started. 500 tons will be going down today and tomorrow. They'll be finishing that up by Thursday. They'll take them up to Silver Street. Finished by Thursday, pulling off of the site for the crazy weekend. And then Monday the 7th, they are going to begin again, taking pretty large steps moving down B Street. And that's all I have.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Mike?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I'm good, thanks.
All right. Appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 17 is to recess to convene as a Storey County Fire Protection District Board, Bringing us to item number 18, which is discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of Resolution 25-764, establishing a special revenue fund known as Compensated Absence Fund within the Storey County Fire District as of June 30, 2025. Comptroller McCain.
Good morning, Jennifer McCain for the record. This is a new fund that was mistakenly left out of the last meeting on June 17th. We should have presented this when we presented the distribution of unanticipated revenue, as that's what's going to initially fund this. This fund is very similar to the one that was approved last year for Storey County. The fire district, just like the county, has an unfunded liability of leave that's left open every year. Should everyone decide to leave the county at one time, we would have to pay them all out, or as higher up employees that have been here for a long time, of course, then their leave buyouts, whether sick or annual, are increased over their longevity with the fire district. Therefore, this fund would hold the responsibility of paying out any of those leave buyouts. Instead, the alternative would be to wreak havoc on the regular budget of the fire district. So unless you have any questions for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. Fire Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not, thank you.
Fire Commissioner Mitchell?
I'm good, thanks.
Is there any public comment? Not seeing any. Chief, you don't have anything? All right. Fire Commissioner Mitchell, are you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I, Fire Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve Resolution 25-764, establishing a special revenue fund known as the Compensated Absence Fund within the Storey County Fire District as of June 30th, 2025.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
On to item number 19, discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval for the fire chief to sign an interlocal agreement with the state of Nevada Department of Public Safety, State Fire Marshal Division, delegating authority to the Storey County Fire Protection District to conduct inspections, plan reviews, and other code enforcement responsibilities as outlined in NAC 477 and NRS 477. Chief?
Yes, Commissioners. Jeremy Longcar for the record. So this is a long-standing interlocal that we renew with the state every year. Just to kind of recap what this is about is based on the population of Storey County, we fall under the governance of the State Fire Marshal's Office. So versus having them come do the inspections, plan reviews, and everything for us, we engage in an interlocal, which they delegate that authority to us. So that's how we're able to do what we're currently doing. With this, no changes to the interlocal. This is pretty routine. It comes out, and I believe this one is going to go through December 31st of 2029. But our current interlocal does expire today, so it's important to keep this interlocal going so that we can control that fire and life safety inspections within the county. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Fire Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Fire Commissioner Mitchell?
I'm good, thanks.
How about public comment? Not seeing any. Fire Commissioner Mitchell, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I, Fire Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve the fire chief to sign an interlocal agreement with the State of Nevada Department of Public Safety, State Fire Marshal Division, delegating their authority to the Storey County Fire Protection District to perform inspections, plan reviews, and other fire code enforcement activities in accordance with NAC 477.917 and NRS 477.030.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Chief. On to item number 21, discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval to hire up to 3 firefighter AEMTs or firefighter paramedics in preparation for the fall 2025 Fire Academy enrollment to fill anticipated position openings resulting from internal promotions and retirements not to exceed 12 months past the time of hire. Chief?
Yes, Commissioners. So with the recent testing, we know that we're going to establish a large list of very, very capable candidates. And just based off where the fire district's going and some of the internal changes, this is our way of getting ahead of this a little bit, is by allowing an overhire of 3 people, we're going to be able to do 2 things. And one, I'm just going to hit on some notes here for you. Looking at just what we're doing in overtime per year, in FY 22-23, in just regular hours of people signing up for overtime, we had 14,753 hours. In addition to those hours, mandatory hours, that's when they think they're getting off shift and we grab them because we don't have anyone to fill that slot. We did 2,675 hours, and that was times we were just capturing these people and holding them in place. So keep in mind that was 22-23. As of right now, we're at 17,534 hours of regular overtime and 2,675 hours of mandatory time. So naturally, as more staffing comes on board with the fire district, that means more leave, that means more overtime. So along with the internal movement of some retirements and some promotions that are happening, I intend to use these 3 to get them into the academy, get them trained up, and as those positions come available, they'll be able to move into those slots, and in the meantime, to start reducing especially the amount of mandatory overtime. You continue to hold staff on, and we have staff to go 8 days, 14 days, they will stay at that firehouse nonstop, and we all know that's not very healthy for the employee, and obviously their performance does lack too. So we'll inject those 3 overhires into those positions to reduce that amount of overtime and especially the mandatory overtime. I've discussed this with Comptroller McCain. There's room in the budget to support it, and if she would like to make any comments on it, she's more than welcome to, but I think this is a good proactive move to get ahead of the curve. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
All right, thank you, Chief. Fire Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Fire Commissioner Mitchell?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay, how about public comment? Not seeing any. Fire Commissioner Mitchell, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I, Fire Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve the overhire of up to 3 firefighters, AEMTs, or firefighter paramedics in advance of the fall 2025 Fire Academy to proactively address anticipated staffing needs due to internal movement, including promotions and retirements for a period not to exceed 12 months from the time of hire.
Second. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Moving right along to item number 22 is to recess to reconvene as the Storey County Board of County Commissioners, bringing us to item number 23, which is discussion for possible action. Discussion possible consideration directing county staff to research, consult with state and Lyon County officials, and to develop findings and recommendations for future board consideration regarding the transfer of the Comstock Historic District and the Comstock Historic District Commission responsibilities and administration from the state to the county. Austin?
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Austin Osborne for the record. So, as you're aware, in the last legislative session, Senate Bill 78 was proposed, and there was some discussion and potential risk to the Comstock Historic District with that, and not really going into the legislation that died. What did happen is it got kind of gave a chance and an opportunity for state officials as well as county officials to discuss, what do we want to see for the future of the historic district, knowing that this is a little bit on the radar to make changes to it at the state level, that whether it's this last session and definitely probably in sessions to come or otherwise. So we have had meetings with state officials, with State Historic Preservation Office, with DCNR, the overarching department for that, with the governor's office, with Lyon County and others that are involved in this, as well as the local Historic District Commission folks, and to look at, do we want to talk about migrating this over to local control, like it is in other jurisdictions across the state of Nevada, as well as mostly nationally. And so at this point, where the conversations are going pretty well, and we would like to get direction from this board to make sure if we're really going to explore this, really put some capital and investment into this, put a task force together, and otherwise, kind of go this direction. We would like to get direction from the board on what this board would like to do in this regard. And also, I want to point out, As far as a task force, Commissioner Mitchell, who is the representative of the Comstock Historic District for this board, is obviously in communication about this, and I welcome his and this board's ultimate direction on what you would like to see us do over the next 12 months with the state, Lyon County, and other officials, as well as with our local representative.
That's it?
It is.
All right. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
No, well, just to say that I think that it's worth continuing to explore down this path. One of the challenges that the Historic District has faced is that kind of uniquely it has a board that oversees its operations but does not oversee its budget. And that's overseen by the State Historic Preservation Office. And one of the unique challenges that has arrived is as there's been turnover in staff, it's taken them a long time to replace those positions, and that can be somewhat disruptive and puts a pretty heavy burden on the chair of that board, who's basically a volunteer. And so being able to bring some of that control locally, I think, makes a lot of sense. The proposal that surfaced in Senate Bill 78 would have moved the other direction, which kind of centralized that control away from the local jurisdiction. And I don't think that's effective for historic preservation, so I'm supportive of this idea.
All right. Is there any public comment at this time? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, are you comfortable? Are you prepared to make a motion? I shouldn't say comfortable. Okay.
Yep. I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to direct county staff to research, consult with State of Nevada and Lyon County officials, and to develop findings and recommendations for future board consideration regarding the transfer of Comstock Historic District and the Comstock Historic District Commission responsibilities and administration from the state to the county.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you for that, Austin. Moving on to item number 24 is discussion for possible action. Consideration and discussion and consideration authorizing the county manager to sign and approve a 3-year lease agreement between Storey County and High Sierra Communications to maintain county mobile, VHF radio, microwave, and other telecommunications equipment at the Ophir Hill Relay Station in southern Storey County near Virginia City in an amount not to exceed $15,333.06 for year 1 with annual adjustments thereafter per index factor for communication uses by the Bureau of Land Management. County Manager Osborne.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Austin Osborne for the record. There's a tower that's right outside our windows up on Ophir Hill that we maintain radio communications equipment on and have for 15, 20 years or longer. There hasn't been a cost for that during the time. The owner of the tower has come to me over the last year, and the cost of maintaining the tower and some tax implications and other things he's asked. He said he would like to charge market rate for the equipment to be stored and used on the tower. It's a substantial amount of equipment. It's not 1 or 2 pieces. And we looked at the region of what towers are charging for similar equipment for jurisdictions like us. The rate that he has proposed is in line with that. I think this is totally appropriate, and the guy's been, Mr. Metz has been very easy and very accommodating to the county for a very long time working with us. He is still interested in exploring potential ways maybe to come up with some interlocal agreements for some in-kind that might reduce this cost in the future, but I think at this time this is appropriate, and I recommend an approval of this and that we continue operating on those towers.
All right, thank you, Austin. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I'm good, thanks.
How about public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah. I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to authorize the county manager to sign and approve a 3-year lease agreement between Storey County and High Sierra Communications, Inc. as discussed in this meeting and in accordance with the enclosed draft agreement.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you for that update, Austin. On to item number 25, this discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval of business license second readings A through W. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
Good, thanks.
For the record, I think that might be the largest second reading list I've been responsible for. I don't think we've hit X, Y, and Z yet, so. Oh, double W, that's right. Okay. Is there any public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I move to approve the second reading of business licenses under item 25 listed as A through W.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 26. It's the second and final time for public comment during this meeting. Is there any public comment today? Not seeing any. That brings me to item number 27. It's adjournment of all active and recessed boards on the agenda. It is 11:30. This meeting is adjourned. See you all in 2 weeks.